Hi, Nesty. I'm trying to understand something about my coverage. I recently had a procedure, and the bill seems quite high.
So I got his account pulled up, and the first thing I am going to take a look at will be the claims. After that, I will jump over the deductible status. And what was the other thing here? He said, here we go.
Thank you for calling Health First. My name is Nesty. May I please have your plan identification number to access your account?
Yes, it's HF123456.
Thank you. Mr. David Miller?
Yes.
For verification purposes, could you please provide the email address associated with your account?
It's davidmilleremail.com.
I appreciate that. And lastly, could you please confirm your date of birth?
It's July 10th, 1980.
Thank you for the information. Mr. Miller, how may I assist you today?
I need you to hear me out. Health insurance call centers are one of the most challenging to get a job, and it's not because of your English, but jargon, aka vocabulary. So if you're planning to go to the health insurance call center, I suggest you to practice this call. But this call is just the beginning. If you need to understand the vocabulary, I encourage you to watch this video first, and then this one right here. And then you can come back to this video where I'm having a call with a customer. So are you listening what I'm saying? This video, along with these other two, are crucial for your position in that call center, in the health insurance. And one more thing, if you like what you see, please remember to subscribe. You don't have any idea how much time I have invested on all these videos just for you. So the only thing that I ask in return is to support us. And if you want to support us a little bit further, remember that you can purchase the Roleplay Practice book where you can find more scenarios like this one.
Thank you for the information. Mr. Miller, how may I assist you today?
I'm trying to understand something about my coverage.
Okay.
I recently had a procedure, and the bill seems quite high. I thought my plan had good benefits.
I totally understand your concern, Mr. Miller, and let's take a look at that. Are you familiar with how your deductible works?
I know it's the amount I pay before the insurance pays.
Okay.
But I thought I had already met it.
I can certainly check that for you. Set an expectation, Mr. Miller. If your deductible hasn't been met, you would be responsible for those costs until it is. After that, your plan would typically start covering a larger portion, and you might just owe a copay for certain services or co-insurance, which is a percentage of the cost.
This procedure might have needed authorization, right? I remember something about that during my enrollment.
Yes, Mr. Miller. Certain procedures do require prior authorization. Let me check if this was obtained for this particular service. And quick question, I would like to know if the provider you saw was within our network.
Yes, they were listed in the network directory.
That's really good to know. It is possible that the bill reflects the charges before your insurance processed the claim fully. I can definitely review the status of the claim and see how close you are to meet your deductible.
Okay, that would be great.
Your monthly premium allows for these benefits. I will ensure everything was processed correctly. Let me just pull up the details of the procedure.
This high bill is a bit worrying.
I understand. Let me just pull up the details of the procedure and your claim now. May I place you on a brief hold while I am conducting my research?
Okay, that would be great.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
This is actually what is going on. Mr. Miller is on the line, and here I already have his information, his account, his line number, email, and the date of birth. Everything matches, right? And the first thing I am going to take a look at will be the claims. After that, I will jump over the deductible status, and I want to see if he has met his annual amount, because if he hasn't, that's the main reason why the bill looks really high. Then I am just going to double checking if this specific type of procedure require authorization, because if it did and wasn't obtained, that could definitely impact his coverage and leads to a higher out-of-pocket expenses. And after that, I am going to, what was the other thing that he said? I am just going to make sure that the provider that he visited this time, it is within our network, because if he is not, so that's why maybe he's on his bill reflecting a huge number. All right, I have his account right here, and as you can see, I'm gonna go through his account overview. His name is David Miller. This is the ID number. This is the name of the plan, and the status is active, which means that he is good, right? In that time, when it comes to the account overview, it's really good. Now, let's talk about the premium. The premium is the monthly payment that he actually does, right? So in the premium, these are pretty much all the things that he got covered. The primary visit care, it has a copay of $25, which means, as you may know, that every single time that he goes to the doctor, he is going to pay $25, right? In case of he visits at a specialist, it's going to be $40. If by any chance, knock on wood, he has an emergency, he goes to the emergency room, he needs to pay $100 plus 20% current insurance, right? Hospital, inpatient, that will be 20% current insurance after deductible. So he has to reach the deductible. And if he needs drugs, right, prescription, every single time you go to the hospital, anyway, you are gonna need prescription, you're gonna need drugs. So that's going to be depending on the tiers copays. As you may know, there are different type of tiers. There are different type of numbers, right? I'm going to give you an example of different type of tiers, right? Just give me 1 second. Bear with me. For example, he's taking this drug name, which is lisinopril, and the tier 1 he's got it is $10. So in other words, when it comes to tiers, we are talking about that there are different type of prices that the patient will pay in copays, right? So, for example, if you go to the doctor's, he gives you a prescription. You go to the drugstore gives you in worth the amount of $100. It doesn't matter if it's $100 bill or $500 bill, you will always pay $10. That is one of the benefits of the premium. That's why you pay for the premium, right? All right, so I got the account. And deductible is $1,500. That is going to be the deductible, $1,500, right? But this is the thing. Annual deductible, $1,500. Annual met to date, only $800. So what is happening right now with Mr. Miller is that he is owing to the insurance $700. That's why the recent claim based on his bill invoice, right, it's really high, $4,500. That's the amount. March 15, March 28, April 5th, and April 10th. So all this has been covered, as you can see. He was billed, or the company or the provider billed $120, paid by insurance $95. And the patient, Mr. Miller, just paid the copay, $25. It's a benefit. That's why you have to pay premium. Otherwise, you would have paid $120, but he's just paying $25, right? So on the third one, what was the second one? On the second one was the blood work. Okay, so blood work. So the payment was $350. Okay, this was toward the deductible. It means that the amount from what he was paying, which is the $800, it was towards the deductible, so he got paid, right? But then we have $180 billed, paid by the insurance on $140, and he only paid $40, right? And this is a special visits, right? Now, but he's talking about the last procedure. The last procedure just happened that he went to City General Hospital, and that was on April 10th, right? As you can see right here. And the bill is for $4,500. The insurance hasn't paid anything, and the patient must pay $4,500. And guess what? The insurance, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. The insurance is going to pay something out of those $4,500? Let me know in the comments. And let me know what you think, because the idea It's to make sure that you understand all this procedure, right? Anyway, so let's go back. Okay, so another thing that I want to check is the network, right? We have the primary care physician, likely in network. So the primary care physician is in network. But what was the name of this primary care physician? Let me double check. I'm going to be paying attention to the account overview, the coverage benefits, deductible, recent charges as well, or recent claims, prescriptions, authorizations, and the network, right? So let me see. Okay, the name of his doctor is Dr. Jane Smith, and is a network. So we're good. We're good on that part. Now I need to check if there is an authorization for this type of procedure, right? So let's move on. Okay, so we are in authorizations, and the authorization happened on the April 9th. Procedure was approved. What was the procedure? City General, and yes, the procedure was approved, and then he went to the hospital, right? So prescriptions of drugs, not discussed, no drugs for him, and pretty much was it, right? Alrighty, so now something that I just want to clarify when it comes to this. Once his deductible, reminder deductible, is met, he can actually have access to the benefits of his plan. Right. So the thing is that if he continues like that without meeting the deductible, he will have to pay more and more and more every single time he goes to the doctor. So one of the things that we need to clarify to Mr. Miller right now in this scenario is that he has to pay. He has to pay the amount of money. I think I already have a really good grasp about what's the current situation with Mr. Miller. So I will explain what I have found, and in a way that he can actually understand. Let's see how it goes.
Thank you very much for holding, Mr. Miller, and thank you very much for your patience. I've looked into your account and the claim for your recent procedure, and it appears that you have not met yet your annual deductible. On your plan, the deductible is $1,500 for this year, and so far you have paid $800 towards that. That means that for the covered services, you're responsible for paying the remaining $700 before your insurance starts to pay its portion beyond any applicable copay.
So that high bill is because I still haven't met that $1,500 thing?
Exactly. The cost of this procedure is likely being applied to your remaining deductible.
Okay, I think I'm starting to understand. So,
but once you meet those $1,500, then for future covered services within your network, you would typically just owe your copay for certain visits, or the co-insurance, which is your plan's benefits for this type of procedures.
The premium I pay monthly just keeps this whole thing active, but I still have to pay that $1,500 first?
That's a good way to put it. Your premium ensures that you have this coverage and access to the network of providers. The deductible is the amount you pay out of pocket before your plan starts to share a larger portion of the costs. For the record, I also did confirm, and the provider was in network, and the procedure had the necessary authorization.
So this bill is correct then, based on my deductible?
Based on the information I have, it appears so. You're currently in the process of meeting your deductible. As you incur more covered health care expenses throughout the year, those will count towards your deductible until it's fully met.
Okay, well, that's not what I wanted to hear, but at least it makes more sense now.
Remember that you can track your progress online.
Thanks for explaining it, Nesty.
You're welcome, Mr. Miller, and I understand it can be a bit confusing sometimes, but please remember that once you meet the deductible, your out-of-pocket costs for covered services will likely be lower. Do you have any other question for me at this time?
No, I think that's it. I'll log in and take a look at my account. Thanks again.
You're very welcome, Mr. Miller. If anything else comes up, please don't hesitate to call us back.
Thanks again.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.